Hi, and welcome to another episode of Nursing Your Way to Wealth, where a mental health nurse and an accountant talk about wealth creation, personal development, and financial independence in the UK to help you live the life you deserve. Hello, and welcome back. You have both Alexes back again, and this episode I'm going to take all the blame for this. We've titled it To Spend or to Save, that is the question, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So, between us, we've got a list of 13 kind of questions on around everyday life. And the question Alex and I are going to ask ourselves is, would we spend on it, or would we buy it, or would we save the money and do it ourselves? So this is our second go at recording this because near the end of the last episode, I had a humongous power cut and lost all of our kind of recording. So crossing my fingers that doesn't happen again. Alex is going to read one. I'm going to read one. We'll just go back and forth with both of our thoughts on each of this list of 13 things. So, Alex, welcome back, firstly. But our first thing, number one, is premium bonds. Do you have any, or do you save the money you could have put there, or what's the deal?
Yeah, hi everybody. And yeah, good one to kick off. So premium bonds, I currently do not have any premium bonds. I Rather than spend or save the money that would go into them, I just save it into a different place, just into um just an instant access savings account. I have had premium bonds in the past, but I don't think I've ever had enough to earn to win the prizes. And so I've never won anything on premium bonds. I prefer to just keep my cash in my emergency fund, which is what I would use a premium bond account for. I just keep that in a instant access ISA. But I think you are partial to a premium bond, if I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. I am. And the reason I have those is it scratches that gambling itch in my head, so I don't do any other form of gambling whatsoever. And it kind of gives me that thing of, or maybe I'll win a life-changing sum of money, maybe I won't. As it happens, I've had some for a couple of years now, I think at least three. I've had some exposure to premium bonds in varying amounts. I do use it to store cash, not because I'm a 45% taxpayer, but because I like pushing the button every month and seeing what happens. If I were sensible, like our accountant friend, I would put them in a high interest savings account, and I would be much better off financially because I would make more that way. But then I wouldn't get really the potential excitement of kind of spinning the wheel. So that said, I do think about it regularly. I often think about cashing them in, and I always think to myself, well, I'll leave it one more month or one more spin, and then I end up winning a little bit. I've never won, interestingly, more than £100 each month. And I'm actually September and August, I've won £100 each month. We're recording this September 10th, 2024. But then a couple of months went by, 2, 3 months went by, and I won nothing. And I start to think about, well, maybe I'll take it out, which is kind of maybe a version of like timing, but yeah, it is what it is. It's really popular with British saving people. There are billions and billions of pounds invested here. Not invested because it's not an investment product to say. It's more of a savings account. It's easy access and yeah, might scratch an itch if you are a gambler. My brother's won a lot more than me through premium bonds, so I think I'm just chasing him to be honest. But I'm way behind right now. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's where I stand. Premium bonds.
no, that's completely fair. The next one we have on the list is dishwashers. So I will give you my 2 cents on dishwashers. So I do not have well, that's a lie. I have a dishwasher in my house. It is broken. It has not been fixed in years, and um, I just like washing up the dishes. And I've it's something quite therapeutic I find just about washing dishes. Um, but I have, apart from the occasional, I think I think I used it once on Christmas, on like Christmas Day, like 4 years ago with the dishwasher, and it's not been used since. But it's helpful if they've got there's 6, 7 people around. But for day-to-day stuff, I just use a bowl and a sponge and some fairy liquid. How about you, Alex?
Love my dishwasher. It's probably second favorite kitchen appliance after my espresso machine. Um, for some reason, like there's two of us live here, my wife and I and a dog, and we probably use it 5 or 6 times a week. And I'm not really sure how, but just over the day, it just gets full of stuff. And yeah, I don't think I'd be without it. I don't find washing dishes particularly mindful. I'm quite clumsy. I drop stuff, crack stuff, break things. So yeah, I love a dishwasher. Buy the tablets for it in bulk, and away you go. It would be the thing that I replace really quickly should it break. So I'm 100% in favour of a dishwasher. But I don't know why ours gets so full. I think my wife likes clean cups every time she has a cup of tea, so there's at least 4 or 5 mugs worth at the end of every day. Not entirely her thing. I wash all sorts of stuff in it. I've been known to wash engine parts in the dishwasher before. This was an old one, not the one I have now. But yeah, I'm very much a fan. So that's two for two, where we disagree or we have different ideas.
Yeah. And I guess if you've got like a family and lots of children and stuff, having a dishwasher, I imagine, is absolute godsend. There's only two of us, like with you, but yeah, we just tend to use the old fairy liquid and bowl.
Yeah, I mean, each to their own. I'd much rather wang the dishwasher on for a couple of hours and read a book,
Fair.
or I don't know, do anything else. I guess I'm just double clumsy though. I break a lot of things, crack a lot of things. Um, I don't have any washing up gloves or anything like that. Are you a yellow glove person or are you just bare hands?
No, no, just bare hands.
Okay, right. That's number two. Number three is we have designer clothes slash items written here. So I I've been through a bit of a journey with this. I don't wear designer clothes. I don't have a uniform for my current job, and I've I can get covered in all sorts of fluids, both bodily and other, at any point. So I don't wear any clothes that I'm not prepared just to chuck in the kind of incinerating bin at work. So I used to spend more on clothes and kind of things like that. I'm much more likely now to buy clothes secondhand, charity shop, eBay, or vintage, or similar to that. Just because I'm not that good at taking care of them. I will put things in the tumble dryer, and then some of my shirt sleeves end up, well, not reaching my wrist because they've shrunk. And then I can do nothing about it apart from roll them up. But yeah, I don't see the benefit of paying for a logo. I see the benefit of paying for a quality item of clothing. If it's well made, that's different to a cheaply made thing plastered with an expensive logo.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm similar. I think I, and I've certainly changed my mindset a lot. I think when I kind of first came out of university, I wanted to get, the big job in London, and you want to then drape yourself with fancy logos and stuff. But I think over time, and certainly now, I do not have but most of my clothes. I buy similar to you. Like I'll look for quality. Um, find a lot of the supermarkets do really good like stuff, like M&S do really good shirts and chinos and stuff. Um, I'm fairly casual for work, so I've got quite a lot of like formal work shirts still, which kind of don't get aired as much as they used to. But yeah, I think you look at some of the designer stuff and the logos, I really don't think there's a lot to be gained by paying over the odds for things. Like I do a fair amount of my shopping. If I rarely go shopping, if I do, it's almost to like an outlet store, and um, kind of very rarely buy anything like full price. I can't remember the last time I bought something at full price. But I think, yeah, I think for now, quality and comfort is the two. Maybe that's a sign of just getting older. That are definitely the things which I look for, and quite timeless clothes as well. So like, I literally wear Oxford shirts, jeans, shorts, got a couple of blazers, then some jumpers, and they're all fairly kind of neutral colours. So very versatile, wear them anywhere, and then that's all I need to worry about. Then I'm not one for chasing fashion, but that there's a mindset that certainly has changed from say 10, 15 years ago.
I think I'm similar. I've got a base kind of wardrobe of things that will be suitable for most occasions. Um, I don't have anything that I would be unhappy about losing. Like if I've, for some reason, I don't know, um, lost a particular item of clothing, what we're like, oh, I really miss that thing because I spent so much money on it. And I think it's now it's kind of looking rich as opposed to being rich. You can look rich, but then you perhaps aren't rich. Maybe some people can pull both, but I'm not sure. The only thing I'd draw that line in of buying like new is shoes. Obviously, you don't know who's worn them before, but um, and an advocate of buying like a good pair of shoes. I've got one smart pair of Loke shoes that I bought for like a long time ago now, and I just have them. Eventually, I'll have them resold or like restitched or whatever because it's capable of doing that. It's not just a chuck away thing because your sole's worn out. You have to throw them out. Do the same with like winter boots and then have kind of trainers for summer. But yeah, I'm not one for spending many hundreds of pounds on shoes either. Um, yeah, where are we at? Are you doing number four? Yeah,
Yeah, I've got the next one. So yeah, this is car related. So whether it be would you get an old car, new car, lease car? What's your views on those?
old car all the way. I've never leased a car. I've never bought a new car. I can't get over the depreciation factor of buying a new car, and I can't. I don't think I can deal that well with kind of the lease agreements around handing it back as perfectly as when you picked it up. I think life will happen. I'm going to have a dog. I like to put the dog in the back of the car, take it to the woods. I move and carry all sorts of stuff in my Volvo estate. And I have an older car. It's made in 2010, I think. And I have an old car on purpose because it just doesn't matter what I chuck in it. And if I had a new car, I'd want to keep it clean. I'd want to like keep it immaculate. And I just again clumsy with dishes, clumsy with cars. I'm known to run my car through a hedge to avoid things. And I'd be annoyed if it was brand new or a lease option. If it's old and got some war winds anyway, what's another scrape? And I've got no. I'm not someone who gets any status or prestige from buying or driving a fancy car.
Yeah, no, I'm very similar to you. I can really find it hard to reconcile getting like a brand new car. I think unless you are so well off that you've got no other priorities financially, then cool, like do what you will. But for the vast majority of people, yeah, just buy a reliable older car used, and it'll be absolutely fine. Like we've got how old's ours now? 10 years old, like Renault Clio, similar to you. We just throw everything in it. Like we've scraped it a couple of times, and I think it just like adds character to the car.
Yeah,
Uh,
been
and then,
places, done
yeah, is
stuff.
exactly. I mean, we camp, but everything gets thrown in the back of it. We're not precious about denting a bit, or the seat gets a bit of dirt on it. Like, oh, it doesn't matter. And yeah, I just, the cars. I got it. I looked at like We Buy Any Car, and I think it was like even like under 2,000 quid or something to now sell it to them. So it's yeah, not a big deal if you scrape it or do anything. And it's been reliable, it looks after us, and long may that continue.
Yeah, definitely. And I think last thing on cars, if you look after them, like you have them regularly serviced, then it will look after you. I think I've driven loads of cars, loads of places. I think I've owned about nine now. Um, and I always kind of make sure I do most of that maintenance. I've learned a bit of it myself as well to kind of reduce costs like oil changes, filter changes, and stuff. And I think it can be as expensive or as cheap as you make it. I mean, the cheapest mode of transport is like walking, right? And then a bike, and then a car, train, or whatever. But yeah, I'm 100% old cars. I can't see a version of myself that buys a new car ever. I don't think. I mean, it might change when I'm kind of pensioner age or whatever. Um, who knows? But yeah, certainly not now. I've got way too many other things I need money for than yeah, yeah, buying new cars. Right, number five, we have SIPs, so self-invested private pension, on top of an employer pension. So, do you have two pensions running, one personal to you and one via your employer, or are you all employer, or are you all SIP, or are you both?
Yeah, I'm a bit of both. So I have my employer pension, which ticks away in the background. I also then consolidated all of my old employer pensions into a SIP recently, and I was continuing to contribute to my SIP. Um, I've had a bit of a change of heart with the SIP and just pensions in general. I think just because of um, I almost want to make sure I'm maximizing my ISA allowance. The government can quickly change the rules and regulations around pensions, and I read a good book by Andrew Craig. I think it's called "Live on Less and Invest the Rest." And his view on that, it is something he does, is he just prefers to have his cash in his investments in ISAs and just general investment accounts, less of it in pensions, just because one, it's tied up for so long, and two, um, the the government can change the policy at any point. So I've just diverted some of my SIP cash into my ISA for now, and I'll see what the Labour government what they come up with. But I'm at the minute quite because actually, if you to use up your general investment allowance, like so your capital gains allowance in a general investment account, you need to have currently quite a bit in there to be able to achieve that. So having more of the money in your control, I think it's just given me a bit of a yeah, it made me question myself on what I was doing. But I still, put a good amount into my employer pension, and my others are all consolidated into a SIP. And then eventually, when my employer pension stops, and if I leave that job, and then that will get consolidated into my SIP as well, just because I like the control. And yeah, I like choosing where my investments are going with that. So yes, I have both. Is a short answer to that question. How about you?
So I have the exact same, to be honest. I've got actually three or four pensions right now. I've got a very small NHS one that I'll kind of continue to contribute to if I ever work for the NHS again. I've got a SIP running alongside that, and I've got my current employer's pension. And what I've done is because I've had a couple of jobs, I just when I ever leave one, and it's with a different provider, I'll just transfer that into my SIP and move along. I'm having trouble transferring my Nest pension out. They're being a bit difficult with that. My NHS one I'll just leave in the background. There's no point moving that as it's a DB scheme. But the other two, I just have one employer that I pay into, and if when I ever leave this job, again I'll transfer that back into my SIP. I I'm still putting quite a lot into my pension. I put in 9% of my own salary plus whatever my employer puts in, which is currently 6, so it's 15% right now. I am woefully behind when it comes to pensions, like big time behind. So I've had to really play catch up with that. But I think I'll prioritize it for maybe the next 5 years or so, and then I'll reassess if I need to divert some of that income to ISAs. I like the idea that you've questioned your own thinking from past version of you. Like, and is it still relevant? Is it still going to get me where I want to go? And if the answer is no, slight tweak with intention, not changing for the sake of changing. But yeah, we're similar to that as well.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, perfect. And I think that's yeah, they're such a powerful tool to use, and it sounds like you're making good use of it. Um, the next question on here, number six, is more house than you need. So would you, if you could, would you spend more buying more house than you would actually need for you to live in?
Um, no. And the reason for this, I've done a total 180 on it. When I was younger, I'm 36 now, but when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to grow up and have a big house, going to get a great job, going to have a huge driveway, big garden, have some animals. And now I'm like, that's a lot of energy, that's a lot of effort, it's a lot of work. So I'm very much now thinking, have as small a house as I can feasibly get away with, not like living in a tent or a shoebox, but don't have more space just for the sake of having more space. I mean, we have here now more space than we perhaps need. It would fit a growing family, which is the plan, so that's fine. But it doesn't mean I need to upsize and double my mortgage and move from a 3 bed to a 5 bed house. I really don't think it's worth the additional effort it will take me to earn, or us, my wife and I, to earn that money. So I'm done a 180. I'm very much have a reasonable space for what you need, but don't overdo it.
Yeah, I think I'm similar. I think. Um, it's you grow up and you want to have these mega mansion, but then you realize how you then need to employ gardeners and all this stuff, and you just end up with just really big rooms a lot of the time.
Like MTV Cribs, right?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, here's my 50-foot living room. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
why have you got a
Exactly.
50-foot living room? Um, but I think where if you are going to almost buy a house that's bigger than you need it for, I think for me it's if you've got a plan to almost monetize it. So are you renting out? Could you rent out rooms? And if you've got land, could you like put glamping pods on it? Or almost the way what I would do is just trying to if we were to buy a massive house, it would be very intentionally monetized. So it probably against the actual principle of just buying a huge house just so you can live and see your live in, you know, look at your splendor that you live in. But no, I think it's important. And I think there's generally people always just seem to try and trade up houses. And it's if the house is keeps you, warm in the winter and cool in the summer and it's, doesn't leak, then yeah, it's fine.
I would agree entirely. There's this thing like in Britain, isn't it, or England, that everyone's like a rite of passage to buy a house, and then there's things like, oh, this will do for a starter home, and then this is a forever home, and this is a family home, and this is a
Yeah.
retirement home. And actually, one house can do all of those jobs, and you
Hmm.
can save yourself giving the government many tens of thousands of pounds in stamp duty, and then buying bigger and bigger, and then realizing when you get to 60, oh, this is a bit big now, I might move down. And I think they just reap so much tax in doing that. I
Yeah.
think if you're smart and you're intentional, you can save yourself loads of money. Like, yeah, I just don't see the benefit of it. And again, like it gets idolized, doesn't it? Because it incentivizes you to spend more. I mean, who wants a humongous kitchen where you've got to walk like, I don't know, meters and meters from, I don't know, your fridge back to your dining room table or whatever, even if you have one.
Mm.
It's yeah, space for the sake of it. I'm not it on that, so I'm a save.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next up we have number seven, annual foreign holiday. Where are you on that one? Spend or save?
I I do like traveling and seeing places. I think it's some of the best money I've ever spent has been on traveling to some far-flung places to and not to lie on a beach and do nothing, but to really explore a country and trying to absorb some of the culture, see what does and doesn't work. So I'm all for spending money to travel. I don't have um, I don't think it's a necessary rite of passage that everybody has to have a foreign holiday every year. I think what is important is to have a break from work. Um, but I do a lot of camping, so we camp a lot. So we've seen a lot of the UK and will and continue to do so. One thing which I've become to detest, it just seems to be the airport queues and stuff now just seem to be absolutely out of control. So the kind of short mini break, and I used to go on loads of little mini breaks across Europe, um, kind of Friday to Sunday, Friday to Monday type things, and have had some like amazing experiences. But for whatever reason, it just seems to take like 5 hours to get through an airport now on two sides of country, and you end up wasting so much time. So I'm less of those. But I think it's really important to get a break. And I think traveling, if you can, try seeing very different types of places to the one that you live in is a really good investment. So that's where I stand on that. How about yourself?
Yeah, I would agree, and I like kind of spending on travel and culture. And I I don't have a foreign holiday every year. It's not something we do. Probably we'll go somewhere each year. So like this year around my birthday for a family holiday with my wife's family, we went to Shropshire for a bit. So we just rented a country Airbnb between six of us and two dogs, and we just kind of spent the time going to a new county that none of us had ever been to. So it's something that I really enjoy stuff like that. I do obviously like going out of the country as well. I'm again hate airports, so I'm instead of dragging a suitcase along, something like that, I'm very much pack a backpack full of clothes and whatever I need fits in the backpack, and then that's no check-in. You're not wheeling a heavy case around. Just got it on your back, and that is it. You can take it as hand luggage, and it's minimised massively the amount of time we have to spend in airports. So huge fan of that. So big travel tip for me is only take what you need. If you can stay somewhere with a washing machine, even better. And you can take even less stuff with you. But yeah, definitely not annual foreign holiday. Don't see it as a rite of passage. See a lot of my work colleagues though say that they have to go away somewhere, um, and it has to be hot and it has to be foreign and it has to be usually the southern Spain. Um, but I'm all for the stress relief and the time away from work. You need that to recoup and rest. But I'm more of a like an action doer of a holiday thing. I'd rather go somewhere and do something than just go somewhere and sit on a beach.
Yeah, I'm the same as you on that. I like active holidays. Um,
Yeah, definitely. Rather go kayaking somewhere down a remote river than sit on a beach in Spain and have like mocktails or whatever they sell.
yeah, no, completely. Um,
Yeah,
cool. Next one on the list was a new phone every year. Do you see that as essential?
absolutely not. I've never bought a new phone in my life. I always buy second-hand phones. Fortunately, my dad is a total tech person, so he gets new phones regular. Enough that me, my brother, and sister usually get hand me downs from him. I've had my Samsung phone now at least 6 years. No signs of slowing down, does everything I need it to do. Don't really want to change it. Um, will only change it for another second hand option when it 100% doesn't work anymore. But yeah, I can't justify um, over £1,000 per year on a new phone. Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm completely the same. My phone is I can't even tell you how old it is, but it does everything I need it to do, and I realize it's having a new phone doesn't change the problems that you have on your phone. Like, you still have the same contacts in your phone, you've still got the same news, you've still got the same bank balance, you've still got the same football team that are losing that you check the results on. It doesn't really change anything. So I, yeah, I mean, I'm not dissimilar. I bought this years and years ago. It still works, and I will probably have to trade it in when Apple killed it with its software updates, which I don't think is for another couple of years. So that's all good.
I'm the exact same. Right. Number nine, branded food or supermarket own brand. Where do you stand on that?
I so I cook a lot, and I so we shop in Aldi. Is what it gives you an indication. But I really have no affinity for branded food. I often just have tried. So I'm one to, I don't discount the brands. I don't discount supermarket own. I tend to just try and I'll go up the ladder of basics up to the brand and then have landed on the fact that the supermarkets do a really good job. The food that they provide is excellent. And yeah, most of the stuff I have is, yeah, the supermarket's own brand. The vegetables and fruits now that you get in Aldi certainly have, I think, definitely improved over the last few years. And yeah, apart from a couple of items, I think like Branston pickle is one that we found that's the one that is definitely tastes nicer as a brand than the other one. But I think, yeah, brands don't do anything for me. And I think if anybody's out there that is complete religious, what do you call it, disciple of a brand, give a try to the supermarket owned one, and if not, worst case, you don't like it, and then you just go back to the brand, or actually, you might find you prefer the other one. Um, there's very little risk involved, but yeah, I'm very much supermarket owned stuff. How about you?
Same. So I've got a few kind of preferences when it comes to food. So my wife has got some Italian heritage. She's half Italian. So we're very much Italian tomatoes over anything else or homegrown if we can, if we've had a good year for it. We grow a lot of our vegetables at home. We both eat predominantly vegetables as a diet. So it's where we can get quality items for that. So it's a kind of a cross between Aldi, Morrison's, um, growing our own, or using the local farm shop here. Um, some of them have got a bit niche and a bit trendy. I mean, out at a coffee shop and they start charging you £4 for a butternut squash, which is a bit ridiculous. So it's value really over anything like that. Luckily, my wife cooks a lot; she's very good at it. Um, the only thing I would buy 100% always branded will be tin tomatoes rather than the kind of own brand stuff. The more I find, the more expensive they are, the more tomato you get. And I want tomato, I don't want water. So, and also you find there's less sugar in the more expensive ones than there are the cheaper options. That's opposite for beans, by the way. So I always get the cheapest beans I can because there's less sugar in them than there is in the like Heinz Branston thing. But apart from that, no other real preferences. Not going to die on any hills for any brand whatsoever. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, that's all good. I've got the next one. Number 10 is um, related to credit cards. So do you have single credit card, multiple credit cards, or none?
I have one uh, cashback Amex everyday platinum thing, the one without the annual fee that I just spend wherever I can and just gain a little bit of cash back over the year. It makes probably somewhere between 150 and £200 difference to me at the end of the year, so I think it's worth doing. Um, Considering I'll carry both either within my phone or within my wallet. If I can put groceries, fuel, big experiences on it as well. It's useful for that. But I'm just a one finish.
Yeah, no, that's makes sense. Yeah, we have the Amex British Airways one, which the blue one now, which is what we use to earn air miles and have had some good success with getting some flights before. So yeah, we use that and similarly clear that every month. So there's no interest on that, which is key.
Yeah, of course. I forgot to mention
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, I think one thing I've seen where people can take out like an interest-free credit card. If you've got the cash, I think I saw it in Martin Lewis, it's called stoozing. And if you've got say if you borrow you've got £5,000 in your bank account and you can then take and you can put that into a savings account and earn interest and then you take out a 0% credit card, buy something on that credit card for the tune of £5,000 and then pay it off after 12 months, say when your savings account vests, you can then actually have made money on that. Um, so that's one thing I did see. But no, I think I always, and we've talked a few times about credit cards. It's just being super careful with them, making sure you just clear it every month because those credit card fees start to rack up quite quickly. But yeah,
Definitely. The Amex like percentage fees are ridiculous. I think when I first signed up, the one I have is something like 80+%. It's mental,
yeah,
absolutely mental. So yeah, be very careful. Don't take one if you can't clear it at the end of every month. 1 month of paying fees like that is crazy. Wipe out any cashback you ever
yeah,
got. So be on the right side of it. The winning side for us, the losing side for the card company. There's one in like kind of last fact on credit cards. Um, I had a chat recently with a lady from the Financial app, and she says Mastercard and Visa they're totally debt-free businesses, whereas a lot of other businesses run with a slight or big debt load. They run absolutely debt-free, and the people who are paying their debts are people who incur charges for interest. So don't be one of them. They're rich enough. Yeah, right. Anything else? Credit cards or no?
no, no, that was it.
Okay. Number 11 here we have weekly takeaway slash meal out. Does that fit into your weekly plan or not?
Yeah, so we probably go for like I would say a meal out probably every month. I tend to just try and go to somewhere that I can't replicate the food for. And then we'll usually most of our meals that we eat are like I just do batch cooking at the weekends and they tend to be kind of those things in the weekday. At the weekend we'll try and do like something a bit, whether that be like a fake away type meal or um something where I'll just go and buy some like good ingredients and make restaurant style meal. But that's kind of how we do it. But it's certainly not like a religious thing. We just try and like to separate the weekend from the week by having some slightly nicer food at the weekend. How about you?
I'm the exact same. So I can't cook at all. Like my wife does the lion's 99.9% cooking for us, which I'm incredibly grateful for. But it doesn't feature in like we don't have. We're not kind of these people that have takeaway every Friday night. We go out every Saturday or every Sunday for a Sunday lunch or breakfast or something like that. I would say we probably go out for a meal definitely less than monthly. I don't. It's not once a month. It's probably between six, maybe 8 times a year, something like that. I'm much more likely to go if it's part of a group, like if a family member wants to come as well, or we're going with some other friends, than just go kind of myself and my wife, unless we're celebrating something. Being kind of vegetarian, my wife's been vegetarian a long time, and I'm coming up to nearly a decade now. A lot of the vegetarian options are kind of soup, pasta, real basic food that you can make yourself and taste just as good. Um, what I do like doing is going to different Italian places and just seeing how good those kind of food, well, pizza is, places like that. But again, I try and anything we can cook at home or my wife can cook is actually very, very, very good. And I don't want to pay over the odds for something that's not as good. And that's happened to us fairly regularly. So if we do go, we'll go somewhere like nice, uh, for the experience as well as the food.
As it, yeah, I think that we're similar. I'd rather be on either side of like the spectrum. I'd either go like
Hmm.
super cheap or super expensive, rather than I'd feel ripped off sometimes in the middle. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, awesome. So next one was number 12 is expensive gym memberships. Now, where's your stance on that, or gym memberships in general?
Yeah, okay. Two things. So I'm all for gym memberships. I'm all for the benefits of physical exercise, mental health, big reason for that as well. Um, I think the healthier you are in life, in all facets of life, and I know we've talked about physical, mental, and financial health. If you're healthy in all three areas, like life is like the best when you have all of those things. So I'm all for having a gym membership. I'm big into kind of resistance training, strength training. Not that my frame would suggest that, but I try, and I don't see the point in paying for stuff that you're not going to use. So the only thing I use in the gym is a tiny bit of cardio to warm up, and then it's free weights mostly all the way. So I don't pay for a gym that's got a pool and a spa and a kind of all these extra fancy things where you walk around and there's little bits of cucumber on plates and stuff. I don't do any of that. I literally use it really. Um, it's a pure gym, but it's basically a place to store all of the equipment that I would need and that I can't fit in my house, and I just pay a rental to go and use it.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it actually, is like the rental fee of all the massive equipment.
Yeah, I haven't got to buy it, store it, clean it, replace it when it breaks. I just leave it there, and it's always there, 24 hours a day. And sometimes I just turn up and move things, and then I go home.
Yeah, completely fair. I mean, I'm similar. Well, we both got a membership to our like leisure centre, and they've just done a huge renovation. So they've got a really nice gym, and there is a swimming pool there. So Amelia's a big swimmer, or she was when she didn't have a pick line in to get her treatment. And then they've just built out a new like spa facility as well. So, but we're quite fortunate in that we get a discounted rate through Amelia's work, and we have like a joint budget in our household, just for kind of general expenses, and so the gym membership comes out of that. So it's probably I think it's about £40 a month, bit maybe a bit more.
Oh,
Um,
for both of you.
no, each. So it's a
Ah,
bit more, yeah, so it's more of an indulgence than some others things in our life. But I find, I try to go to the gym 3 times a week. We use the pool, and also, well, from October we'll start using the spa facility, which is like sauna, steam room, stuff like that. 'Cause I find I do find myself relaxing after using those. So, um, but yeah, I think it's really important this physical health, and you can get some good memberships. That where I find them, like when we were doing our shopping list on the of which gym to go to, that was the kind of cheapest one in our area, but that were available. But there was also like a not John Lewis, David Lloyd gym, and I think it was like £4,000 for both of us to go there for the year, and that was just a bit mad, to be honest. So I think that your approach to it is really sensible in that use what you need to pay for what you're going to use, and see it. You're not having to buy all these big machines to store in your house and look after.
Yeah, I also don't have to build them. 4 grand a year for both of you is like more than our cars combined,
Yeah,
depending on
yeah,
how much petrol's in them.
exactly. Yeah, true.
That's a lot. If you're burning cash and you've got loads of it, then fine, go for it. You get value out of that, fine.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
But
that's.
that's just not me to spend that much. I'm all for kind of the relaxation bit. You said the spa, the sauna, that's good and it helps you relax. Go for it. But it paying over the odds for like something like that, it's
Oh yeah.
in my opinion out of my means as a nurse. But also I don't think I'd get enough value out of having it. I What I normally do is take I think my gym's £26 a month or something, including my wife. And I figure if we go 3 times a week, divided that over the month, it costs like £2 a go, something
Hmm.
like that, £2 a session. If that started to get towards like 10, 20, £30 a session, then it's getting punchy and I'd want to be there all day, something like that. But yeah, no, I'm definitely function over um, other stuff.
Yeah. No, completely.
Okay, last one because we're going 42, nearly 43 minutes. Number 13, house cleaner or do it yourself. Where do you stand on that?
So I don't actually do the house cleaning. So I clean the kitchen. So I'm the cook in our house. So I do the sh and I so I'm the chef and I do the ironing. That's my end of the bargain. And then my partner Amelia, she does all the cleaning. So she often says, "So we could get a cleaner. We've thought about it." The answer's always been no. I think we she tends to do it whilst I'm doing some of my chores, so we don't there's no like missing out on each other. But the she likes to do it to her standards, and we're quite happy, and she seems to be happy doing it. So at the minute we are DIY. That may change in the future. Who knows? I know that we were chatting before we started recording, and you were currently weighing up the options.
I am, and I'm still weighing them up. So my wife is the cook. She is you, the chef, right, for our kind of relationship or marriage. I don't do all the cleaning exclusively. We kind of have inside jobs and outside jobs. So I'm responsible for anything car related. General, like last weekend, I swept our chimney with some brushes and kind of hopped on the roof with a ladder. Bit dicey, but here we are. I also do the majority of garden projects like firewood, mowing grass, using machinery and stuff outside. My wife will grow vegetables and we'll both combined pull weeds and stuff. But with cleaning, it's I find it takes quite a lot of time up, and I would much rather not do it. But then I get back to this thing of well, we I know before we've discussed our true hourly rate, which is what we get paid minus our expenses, minus commuting time, etc. How many of those hours would go into paying for a cleaner? And right now, I'm on the verge of getting one to come and do a deep clean once a month. Not that our house is that dirty, particularly, or anything like that, but it's just inside of cupboards, stuff like that, skirting boards. We've got a lot of I don't know what you call them, but the rail that's like 3/4 of the way up the wall, picture rail or something like that. There's loads of those floating around in this old
Oh yeah, like dado. I picture
yeah,
rail.
like this
Yeah, yeah,
old house has stuff like that, and I'm like, I
yeah.
bet there's a lot of dust up there that I don't want to drag the Hoover around and vacuum it all out. But I think I'm not going to get a weekly cleaner, I don't think, but I think a monthly one or every other week.
Mm.
would probably be doable. I mean, again, these decisions are not permanent, are they? You can try it and only have it for a bit and change your mind. You're not signing up for life or anything like that. So
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
that is where we're at. So that is from Alex and Alex, to spend or to save. Hopefully, we've answered some of those questions with a little bit of tangents thrown in. Alex, is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I think that's been fairly comprehensive. Lots of variety in that episode.
Yeah, I think so. A little bit different to usual. The only other thing I'll bring is two things actually. One, we really appreciate you listening along. If you do and you have any questions or you'd like to come on a game of To Spend or To Save with Alex and I, you're more than welcome to do so. The only thing we would say is bring some of your own items for the list. That is fine. If you want to do that, you can email us and we'll arrange it between us. The other thing, I've been reading a real good book recently about financial psychology and the psychology around the spending habits, the money habits that we have. Um, that is incredible. I haven't finished it yet, so in the next week I will endeavour to finish it, and I'll do a little snippet about that because I think it's really important and powerful to realise where our spending decisions come from. What emotion does that bring out, or what does it save or solve for you? And it's been really, really quite good so far. So yeah, next week a little snippet of that. But apart from that, we're done. Alex, unless there's anything from you.
No, I just yeah, if you're enjoying the podcast, if you could give it a like or 5 stars, and please tell your friends about it. And if yeah, any questions, if you'd like to be on the show, please feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, do so. I mean, we get listening figures from our editing chat once a month, and all figures right now are pointing up, probably beyond what I would have anticipated it going quite well. So that is lovely. So we know there are people listening. So hello to each and every one of you. But yeah, talk to us more. Alex and I will respond personally to each email. And if you want to come on the show, you have an idea of something we haven't covered or you want to cover, or you want to come on and we'll talk to you about your own financial plan, we can do that. We can give you our thoughts, obviously not financial advice, but we can just give you our thoughts on where you're at and where you want to get to. And I think with that, are we done?
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, no problem, my friend, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
None of what we discuss on the show is to be considered financial or health advice, and we recommend you always do your own research or consult an independent financial advisor or a doctor when making your financial or health decisions.